Good morning. This is Dr. Michelle of Secrets of Life and Death and Second Chance Secrets with my early morning sunrise diary. I've been doing this for about a week, and it's all about a process of being in the moment, of sharpening up my awareness skills and inviting you to do the same. And there are a number of benefits to doing that. One is that it wakes your body up. And it wakes your mind up. You become more creative, more resilient, more aware, and more agile, more able to respond to the things that are happening in the world right now. The reality is that most of us are operating from habit. And when you operate from habit, you're hanging out in your head thinking about what you need to do next, or thinking about what happened in the past. But you're not here in the moment, in the here and now. Now, why would you need to be in the here and now? Well, back when we didn't live in this amazing civilization that took care of all of our needs mostly, and we didn't have to worry about survival, being aware was essential to surviving. I finished a book not too long ago called Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N, by the author Brian Doyle. And hi, good morning. Welcome to the Sunrise Diary. So I was talking about the advantages of the practice of being aware, of being in the moment. Of course, that's something that my Sufi teacher taught me and taught all of us for years and years and years, is the wonders of being in the moment. It's a way to connect with your spirituality. It's a way to connect with yourself. It's a way to connect with your intuition. So I was talking about this author, Brian Doyle, who wrote this book, Martin. Amazing, amazing book. What you realize is that in the wilderness, among wild animals, being aware is essential to survival. But we don't need to do that anymore, do we? We don't need to be aware. So we lose our capacity to be aware. We get caught up in our heads, we get caught up in our routines, and we lose the agility. Because when something comes along that shifts everything, that changes everything, it's like, you don't even know what to do with it. When you practice the practice of awareness, of living in the moment, as much as you can. Of course, you can't do it all the time. You've got work to do. You have to focus on things. You have to make your breakfast. But as much as you can get in that habit of being aware, the more resilient, the more agile you become. Because in doing that, you actually start to pay attention to your intuition. I noticed that the other morning when I was walking home, and suddenly I had this inclination to walk down this other street. And I came across a bookshelf with a bunch of books and picked up a few. Now, I don't know ultimately why I did that. It doesn't matter. It's that practice of trusting your intuition, trusting that inner guidance. I do this all the time with my clients. I listen to them, and then something comes up, and I just blurt it out. It's like, I trust that. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I trust that intuition, that instinct. The other place I learned to develop that capacity to allow my intuition to play is that I belong to a dream group. I've belonged to this dream group, probably more than 10 years, maybe 15 years. And in trying to interpret dreams, I step out of the way and I just let whatever comes through come through. Now, what is the advantage of this? Well, it helps you to be more creative in the moment, especially when things change, to trust yourself, to be more relaxed. But creative overall, what I've discovered is that the more I do this, the more creative I become in my life. The more interested I become in what's happening around me, the more ideas show up for me. So if you're feeling a little stale, if you're feeling a little stuck, a little tired of being in this shelter in place, this is a good practice. This morning, I was doing my yoga. I do yoga every morning, like around 6 o'clock in the morning. And I have a few routines that I do, and I change. They kind of proceed in order, so that's how I keep track of them. But each one has various iterations or various shifts. And so sometimes I find myself doing a practice and saying, oh, wait a minute, I just did that last week. I just did that the last time. And so it's interesting to notice what finally makes me remember, oh, I did that before. Now you're thinking, why do I want to create all this distraction in my brain? Well, I don't see it as distraction. I see it as a way to keep my mind alert, to keep my awareness agile, to keep my memory working. Therefore, I do that. I play these games. And the other part of doing yoga, of course, is to really feel into the pose. So you're saying, okay, I've done this routine a zillion times. But what if you do each pose with focus, with awareness? Oh, let's see, what did my teacher say about this pose? Can I get more in alignment? Can I relax more into the pose instead of forcing it? And just that alone makes each pose, each movement unique and different. So you don't have to really go very far out of your normal routine to create that awareness. Anything that you do is, if you do it with focus, if you do it with attention, is awareness. The problem is that we forget. So of course, in the course of doing my yoga, I suddenly realized that I didn't remember whether I had done this sequence of poses. I couldn't remember. And so I did them again. It's like, okay, maybe I didn't do it, maybe I did. It doesn't matter, I'm doing it over again. This time with awareness. And that's how you start to develop your awareness. I want to give you an example of this awareness thing. Have you ever tried to change your posture? Several years ago, when I first met my psychosomatic teacher, she talked about the importance when you're speaking on stage of speaking with your both feet forward. Now, my right foot tends to splay out a little bit. I walk in the sand and I can see how terrible that is. And of course it affects the alignment of your body, and it affects the alignment of your hips, which as you get older could actually hurt that joint. But have you ever tried to change your posture? Most of the time we do our walking, our standing up habitually. And it takes practice. Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining. This is Sunrise Diaries, musings on the advantages of staying aware and being in the moment for your life and for your work and for your creativity. So I was talking about yoga and how I pay attention to my yoga and then sometimes lose track of what it is that I'm doing and suddenly realize, oh, wait a minute, where am I? And so that's a moment to get back in the moment. That's a wake up. And the more I wake up and become aware of my tendency to get in my head, get into my thinking, and forget about what I'm doing, the more I practice that, the more I'm able to stay in the moment. Now, I mentioned my Sufi teacher. I've been studying with this teacher for over 35 years. And it's all about being in the moment. It's in the moment that you connect with Source. It's in the moment that you connect to your higher self. It's in the moment that you connect to your true intelligence. So this practice is really worth your time. If you want to know more about the work that I do, I help motivational speakers, leaders, change makers to step into their power, monetize their work through high-end programs that get results. And in my Facebook group, Share Your Brilliance Trainings, I have a lot of trainings like this, a lot of practices that can help you live your life more fully and to become more aware of your purpose. Now, this is really important to me because I didn't even realize I had a porpoise, until I was nearly 50 years old. I was totally caught up in what you might call people pleasing. I thought that was the way to live. I didn't even have any awareness of myself at all. I was all up in my head. And then I had a wake-up call. Both my parents died. It wasn't like they were super young, but the experience of watching them die woke me up to the preciousness of this life and why we're here and what we're meant to do. There is a book that I was reminded again of the other day. Bronnie Ware writes this book about the regrets of the dying. And she says the number one regret of the dying is not living a life true to yourself, of living a life other people expect of you. That's the number one regret. I decided when my mother died that I did not want to live my life with regret. Now, she actually was the poster child for living a life full of purpose, but she had regrets. And I figured if she had regrets, where did that leave me? And that's when I started on this course of doing things outside of the box, doing things that were outside of my comfort zone, to wake me up, to tap into my creativity. And I have to say, I've been pretty happy with the results. Hey, good morning. What are you doing this morning? Welcome to the Sunrise Diaries, musings on how to stay in the moment so that you can become more agile, more creative, more brilliant. So I would love it if you would post in the Facebook and share what you're thinking. There's a whole bunch of musings on this already. I've been talking for a little while and I have to actually keep going because this is my morning walk as well. But please post what it is that you do to stay agile, to wake yourself up, to be in the moment. Hey, thank you for joining again. I'm Dr. Michelle Pedicola, Secrets of Life and Death, and Second Chance Secrets. So yes, this is your second chance to live more fully, to step into your true, authentic self and be more fluid and more active, more alive, more excited, more creative, less susceptible to the effects of other people out in the world. Well, thank you very much for joining. I'm going to close this now. Oh, wow, look at the truck there. I think there was a bunch of other trucks. No, maybe it was the other way. A bunch of trucks this morning. I'm like, oh, I don't want those trucks. Anyway, have a great day. Be brilliant. Oh, and join my Facebook group, Share Your Brilliance Trainings, for more brilliant ideas about how to live on purpose and in the moment. That's it. Bye for now.